and welcome back to another Tom video. In today's one, we're going to look at the TMNT, the Archie Adventures, issue number 14. And this issue was an okay one, I want to say, but it just feels so weird, this one, just because with this issue, it's mainly dealing with turtles in Brazil, helping out Jaguar to rescue April, but then there's some, I don't want to say like weird parts, but it just feels so out of place because it's turtles. But I think that like some of the stuff in this one is quite interesting and fascinating in terms of like maybe like religious or cultural stuff, but also in terms of like environmental stuff. I think that this issue is a issue that's all over the place, but it's an okay one. So yeah. Okay, so this issue is drawn by a different artist, which I don't think works for the best. The art style for the turtles' faces, oh my lord, just the worst. I can't even put the worst. They look old, they look ugly, they're just not appealing whatsoever. And I know that I criticised the artwork on this series quite a few times, but to say the very least, I've still preferred that a lot more than what we're getting here. But on the bright side, at least there are some backgrounds in this one, so it's not all bad. But my god, those faces, they're just the worst. So yeah, okay, so yeah, with this one, we do get Sea Turtles. They do arrive in Brazil, and they're all like, whoa, what the heck, man, we're in Brazil, we're not in New York. And cause like, yeah, whatever, just leaves, which, yeah, I mean, good for him, but I do find it weird that he leaves them in Brazil. I know that he just says, oh yeah, well, you know, Turtles are supposed to be here, they're supposed to be helping out and all that kind of stuff, and I think that's great, but at the same time, it just feels so weird, because at that point, you might also just send them to any part of the world, because they need, everywhere in the world needs help, so why doesn't Cully do that? But no, he decides to put him in Brazil for some unknown reason. It just feels so stupid and strange, but I must admit, it is quite cool to see him in a different location, but it's still so stupid and strange. So yeah, but after that we do get Sea Turtles. They meet and encounter Jaguar, and they quickly go off into the forest to try and find some shelter. And at night, Jaguar explains a little bit more. It doesn't really explain too much about himself. He goes on to explain about the people's beliefs about the Earth and all that kind of stuff. And I must admit, here was quite fascinating, just because I'm quite curious about like other cultures and religions, and like seeing stuff like this where in Brazil, I don't know if this actually is real or not, and I do hope it is, because I do find it to be like quite cool and interesting. But here is revealed that basically these people, they believe that the so-called life that got if like because like got spider who's get eaten by another animal, gets eaten by another animal, who then it takes a shit in the forest, and that somehow is food for a fly, but then get eaten by a spider, and the cycle continues. So I mean, I do find it to be quite fascinating and interesting that they are exploring this, and I do know that later in this series they do go on I'm not too sure what country it was, but they do go on to like explore other religions and cultures, which I do find to be quite interesting, fascinating, and seeing it done here, yeah, it was quite nice. And after that, we do get to see Jaguar's like, oh yes, come on, we gotta go help the reporter, and it's revealed to be April, which, I mean, I'm not disappointed by this, but it just feels like, oh, what a coincidence, it's April, just because of the turtles and all that kind of stuff. And I wish it wasn't April, just because it would be nice to have more people, like new characters in this universe, but no, it's April, so yeah. So after that, we do get Sea Turtles. They go in and they go in fighting, and they do beat up all the people. And at one point, we got to see like one guy brings out a chainsaw, just chops Donnie's bow stuff, and he's like, "Oh man, that's my favorite bow stuff. Must be to give it to me as a gift." And then he kicks him, goes on to say, "Oh, you jerk." I mean, it sounds so stupid when like saying it out loud, but oh boy, but. Yeah, so after that we do get to see Jaguar. He beats up one of the main man, because if I'm reading this correctly, I'm pretty sure that the main villain killed his friend or his brother or something along those kind of lines. And at the end of the issue, April's like, "Oh, Jaguar, why are you crying?" And I do feel like this bit here was just so weird, but I know it's hard, because because Jaguar goes on to explain like, oh, I'm crying because my brother he died, and then I mean like that bit is like really understandable because he misses him. But then he goes on this like weird rant because he sees the forest which is burning, and it's like, I'm crying because every day, every minute we're losing 50,000 acres of the rainforest. And then he goes on and be like, oh yes, and all the animals, we're losing so much life and all that kind of stuff. We need to stop them and all that kind of stuff. And I must admit, this is like the annoying part because I agree with his message. Like, it's annoying because I agree with it, and I think that he's on the right tracks, and this is a really great message. And I do think that it's a good message, and I think everyone can agree with it. But I think that like with this kind of stuff, and I'm quite surprised that this was put in the 90s because this feels like a modern kind of issue. But it's weird just because it's not. I mean, I agree with it. It's just something which I wish they didn't put in there just because it. I don't want to say it feels false or anything, but it just feels. I think the best way to describe it is that I want to read these comics to escape from real world issues, not to have them be pushed in my face and be like, yes, we need to stop it. Because everyone's agree with it, but I'm trying to escape from those problems, so. Oh boy, but. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the actual issue itself. And then there was one last bit where we do get see this person called Noel gets a message saying that the reporter's being free. There's some turtles there, and he wants them to like go off and find out more information about the turtles. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the actual story itself. So yeah, so I'll just say that overall for this issue, it's I don't know, it's a hard one for me to really like talk about because there's a lot of stuff which I do quite enjoy about this issue. I say like introducing Jaguar was quite nice, and also like seeing more religious and cultural things put into Turtles was quite nice as well. Just because it's always quite nice to see different cultures and religions be, like being represented and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's really great, and I do find it to be quite fascinating. But I do think that also, on the other hand, with some negatives which were like quite annoying, was like got the art style which is just not the best, and then also the ending with just Jaguar going on about all the animals and all that kind of stuff, which I would say that it's not a bad thing, and I think people do agree with this. It's just the fact that it's put into this comic where people are reading it to escape from this problem. So, oh boy. But yeah, I'd say that overall this issue was a decent one. I just wish that I could say a lot more better things about this one. I'm also not too sure where this issue goes next with the story. I can't remember all too well. I think I could just go on to find Dreadmon, but I can't remember all too much after that. So it'll be interesting for the next few issues and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below what do you think about this issue. Do you like it? Do you not? And yeah, that's it for today, guys. If so, please share, subscribe, and all stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.